Okay, fantastic for you to join us. How are you?
Just figuring out the wires here, the connection, but I'm so excited to be here, and you're doing an excellent job filling in for Hannah.
Thank you very much. I know you don't have to lie to me, but it's okay. But I want to hear your opinions on fantasy football, okay? So let's bring up the graphics of the top fantasy MVPs and we'll have a little chat through those.
Sure.
The usual suspects are in there, right? We've got Derek Henry, had an unbelievable game. We've got Justin Jefferson, Deshaun Watson. Matt Ryan, I think, was a little bit of a surprise. What about your thoughts?
Well, last week I told you that it's all going to come down to Julio Jones, right? I joined you and said, listen, I don't know, they're changing coaches. That always adds a bit of a spark. But it all comes down to the guy who can do it all, and he did it all. He looked so good. The Vikings are just woof right now. So, as long as Julio's healthy, I think Matt Ryan should stay there. Weird that Carson Wentz has all these receivers banged up, his tight end, all of it's out for a month of it with Ertz. But I feel like Carson Wentz has some really nice matchups. If he's available or you can buy him low in a trade, I would go ahead and grab him.
With McCaffrey slated to return in week 8, for those people that picked up Mike Davis, do you trade him now while there's value, or do you keep him?
You absolutely keep him, and you go to the fantasy owner who has Mike Davis, and you say, listen, Hannah, Christian McCaffrey is coming back. I will take him off of your hands, and then you at least have him. I don't think that there's any way with Matt Rule and Joe Brady, they're calling the offense. I do not think that they're going to just say, okay, Mike Davis, go sit on the bench. This is a person who's averaging over 100 yards a game. This is a person who fit in seamlessly and looked really good against Chicago, even though they didn't have the big numbers. He's not going, to have 20 touches, but I don't think you can say he's not going to have 12. He absolutely needs to be owned in this one, even when Christian comes back. You can use that Christian thing to get him cheap, though, on the low.
Fair play. There's been a lot of fantasy surprises this year. Who is your biggest shock, both positive and negative, I guess?
I'll go positive. I'll stay in Carolina, actually. I think in general, not even from fantasy football perspective or lens, they're the most impressive team with Matt Rule dealing with COVID. He's coaching in the NFL for the first time. He's got a new offensive coordinator, quarterback. It's a lot to handle, and you lose your running back. So I think the fact that Robbie Anderson has been such a standout, a big question mark for people. How is Teddy Bridgewater, this more safe sort of quarterback, going to get him the ball? It's not going to work. Robbie Anderson never panned out when he was a New York Jet, and he's thriving. He's top 6 at wide receiver in fantasy football. So I just really feel like Robbie Anderson has been a really, really nice story. Outside of that, Ryan Fitzpatrick, of course. I know, we saw our first taste of Tua down there with the Dolphins, but seeing guys like Gardner Minshew even outscoring fantasy-wise, Aaron Rodgers, who's been good to start the season, has been really impressive and a fun thing as well. And I won't give you any negative ones. Maybe Kenyon Drake, because I thought out the gate he was going to be the guy, and then Edmonds is there sort of siphoning and stealing from him. But against the Cowboys, he looked great. Kenyon Drake is really trying to get out of my doghouse.
Yeah, Kay, this is Rob Ryan. I don't want to be so negative, but what in the world is going on? You have 4 division leaders that can't play a lick of defense. Buffalo, the Titans. You got the Seattle Seahawks, and I forgot the other one. They're so bad. Dallas. I mean, there's 4 brutal defenses. Like, what in the world? Are these teams going to actually win their division, or what do you think?
I'll say this. Out of all of them, and you're right, it's a very interesting trend that's going on. Offense is ruling. I would trust Russell Wilson to overcome his defense. I mean, they've got defensive issues up the wazoo. Andy Dalton's not doing it for them down in Dallas. I think actually in Dallas, Dak not being there is adding to his value and showing him that, it's sort of accentuating the fact that he is not, in fact, the issue with the Cowboys organization. Maybe some of these other guys that they played, like DeMarcus Lawrence, who has 1 sack through 6 weeks, or Zeke Elliott, who fumbled the ball twice. Maybe there's some other issues, Jerry Jones had to be scratching his head during that game yesterday. But as far as out of those division leaders with those bad defenses, Rob, it's going to come into play. I think Seattle can get it done, and I think that Russell Wilson is the one quarterback where he doesn't need the defense if he's playing like he's playing.
Nice.
Thank you, Kate. As insightful as always. Hopefully, we'll see you again next week. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.